from the broken hills of Mexico.
Coming up, great cowboy music and so much more. California's biggest cowboy festival. But next, Crow Indian artist Birdie Real Bird.
This is the headpiece. It's called the key.
You're looking at the amazing work of award-winning Native American artist Birdie Real Bird.
See this martingale? Usually it's made out of wool, but mine is out of buckskin, and then I wrapped it or the edging around with wool.
The Crow Indian woman made virtually every piece of the traditional regalia that blankets her fine horse.
Yeah, you hang your bags from the old-time saddle. And the old-time saddle is handmade. This is called a wedding blanket. And it's a beaded elk hide. You've got bags here. Bags that are decorated with beads. It's the sword scabbard.
Her incredible work and the finery of her fellow tribal members is on display every August during the colorful parade at Crow Fair, perhaps the biggest Native American powwow in the country. Here on the Crow Indian Reservation in southeast Montana, hundreds of horseback crow bring out their best beaded regalia for both horse and rider in celebration of their tribe's rich cultural heritage.
Like I say, there's a lot of good beaters in Crow.
But none better than Birdie, honored by the Montana Arts Council with induction into its Circle of American Masters in recognition of her artistic excellence and contribution to the state's cultural heritage.
You can be an artist and preserve your culture that way, and I'm using beads to preserve my culture.
Beading is a major part of every piece she makes. In fact, it's been a central part of her life since she was a young girl growing up on the reservation.
My mother was a beader. All the ladies in my life were beaders.
Mom encouraged Birdie's interest by giving her a traditional beading necklace when she was just 12, which she still wears today.
In my beadwork, I do a lot of this navy blue, white navy blue.
Grandmother was another major influence, but the desire to learn was all her own.
I wanted to do it. Nobody said, okay, I'm going to show you how to bead and you're going to be a beader. Nobody said that to me. Just looking at things and observing. And everything that I do, I've watched my mother make. These are plastic. I have 4 real ones, and then they go.
She made this elk tooth dress with her grandmother when she was just 18 and still uses the small measuring tool her grandmother made.
And see how the next row comes on? Comes about 1.5 inches. As the teeth goes, it flows like that, and that's what it's supposed to do. And then it's decorated with a rows of lazy stitch. So you call this a lazy stitch. This comes from the time before beads came, and quill work was kind of similar to this, how they lay it down. Back in the days, they said if your husband's a good hunter, your teeth goes all the way down to the bottom of your dress.
A beaded belt that goes with a buckskin elk tooth dress is among her recent creations, a piece richly accented with fine beadwork. Amazing.
It's not about being patient.
Beading is intricate, time-consuming, detailed work. Stitching together tiny beads on buckskin might appear to be tedious, but for Birdie, it's a labor of love.
I love to make things. It's not boring to me. It's not tedious. It's not about patience. It's about the making it, feeling I have. It's almost like therapy for me. And your work kind of has a spirit to it, and your designs start coming out, and I can't wait. Sometimes I can't wait to see the design, so I might bead all night.
Much of her work is inspired by her Crow ancestors. Birdie spent much time over the years studying Crow Indian collections at museums around the country, like the Peabody in Boston.
It was intriguing to be, looking at the Crow beadwork, and all these leather belts were there.
Today, Birdie belts are a coveted item among those who know her work.
I don't really copy them, but I try to bead like them.
But beading hasn't been her only work. Birdie earned a master's degree and spent 31 years as a teacher and guidance counselor. But she's always been creative.
I remember when I was in first, second grade or something, I won a poster contest for picking up trash. And my mother kept that poster for a long time. And I think we still have it someplace. It's probably someplace in the house.
And beading has long been her passion. Her work, like the cradle board she made for her granddaughter, is beautiful, traditional, and fascinating to see.
I was so excited about being a grandma. I came home that night and I was so happy. I took this out and I started beading this bigger part. And there's eight pieces to this.
The cradle board was actually a collaborative effort with several beading friends who together completed the project in just 6 weeks.
And we had a big baby shower for her. And this is the piece. She goes in right here. You have to kind of, these come apart like this. And then this is her little umbilical cord case. And I just hang it onto the cradle board.
That's her real umbilical cord?
Yeah, it's in there. So this will be hers forever.
Is that a traditional crow?
Yeah, this is a traditional crow piece right here. And it's for girls.
Like those who came before, Birdie is trying to pass on what she knows to the next generation, like her young niece who posed for photos the day I stopped by.
Sometimes I have beading classes, beading circles, trying to teach the younger people how to bead and get them on a interest in creating things, being an artist.
Meantime, Birdie continues to create beautiful regalia, dresses, moccasins, vests, and other works.
What would something like this cost?
Probably $5,000.
That are both wearable art and celebrate and carry on her tribe's rich cultural heritage.
It has to be inside of you. And I liked making things.